Be part 2 of my cooking video because my storage was too full. I'm gonna try not to play with my hair because I'm cooking and that's like no bueno. Okay, so as you see, I put a pot of water here, a little pot here with water, a little bit of oil, and a little bit of salt. That's what's gonna season my wanimos. And then over here in this pot, I have the bacalao, and it's just boiling. I usually have to boil it like 5 times, change the water to take out the salt. Then I walk back over here, and what you're gonna need is a big pot like this, so you can put in the cornmeal. You need cornmeal and flour. Okay, you're gonna use more cornmeal than flour because the flour will make it tough and hard. So usually I measure it, but because I'm like pro at this already, I don't need to measure. I kind of already know. And then I usually use this olive oil, extra virgin olive oil from Goya. And this is what I'm going to put over the codfish when it's done, with onions and avocado. Give me the avocado so I can show them this big. I usually like the little California black ones, but they didn't have, they just had these. So these will have to do. I'll cut these and cut them into little cubes, put them into the cod with onions, but I cook the onions first to make them nice and soft. Once the codfish is done, I mix the avocado and the onions all together with the codfish, and then I take the olive oil, I pour it over the codfish, and then just mix it all together, and then that's what we're gonna throw on top of our little wanimos, as I call it. So what I do is I open the bag of, I'm gonna do the whole bag because usually I just make half of it, and my son loves it so much that he always wants seconds, or he'll want more the next day. Me too, I love it so much. So if I'm gonna go through the trouble in making this, I might as well make enough so we can have extra for tomorrow. Make sure your pots are nice and clean. You're working in a clean surface. So you open your cornmeal and you're gonna throw the whole thing in here. See, the whole thing. And then you're gonna throw the bag out, because as I'm cooking, I go cleaning and throwing out. I hate to cook and just throw everything in the side and have a big mess of stuff. I clean as I go. I have the water boiling, so as soon as this water comes to a boil, that's when the cooking is gonna continue, because we need that boiling water to pour over this here, the cornmeal and the flour. So you saw I put the whole bag of the cornmeal, and that was like a 12-ounce bag. It's the little bags, the smallest bags they have, little 12-ounce. You put the whole bag of the cornmeal in the pot, and then you're just gonna take like just half of this one, the flour, just half of it, because if you put this whole thing of flour in there, it's gonna come out tough. It's just gonna be hard and not soft and stuff. Wait till you see the finished product. It is so yummy. So let's make sure the flour is down there, so when I open it, it doesn't fly all over the place. This one, I'm just gonna open a little because we gotta put the rest of it away. And I don't have, like, I can use a container, but because this is small, I'm basically gonna use the majority of it. So the rest of it, I'll just fold it up and put in the refrigerator. So, okay, so you're gonna throw this in here, and again, you're gonna use like half of the bag or a little bit more than half of the bag. I eyeball it because I'm already, like, as I said, a pro. So you see I used a little more than half of the bag. This is the amount I used. A little more than half of the bag. And then you just fold this. And in a case like this is when I can finally use my lips that I bought to close containers so they won't spill out. See, in Dollar General for $1. These are also good for potato chips. You just close them and put them away. And then you're gonna get a spoon. I will use this one. Rinse it. And then this is how it looks, the flour and the corn in here. Just mix it all together. See?
It's very satisfying.
Oh, my son says it's very satisfying. Okay, so you mix it. And then we're just gonna let this sit here until that water boils. Once the water boils, we're gonna slowly pour it in here and gently mix it until it makes a like dough, like if you're making pizza dough. And then once it's in a dough and it's in the consistency that you want it to be, that's when you start making, I'll show you, you just roll them in your hand like this and make them long, and then you put them into boiling water. I'm just gonna pause you guys for a second until that water boils. I'll be right back, guys. Hi guys, I'm back. Okay, actually this is only gonna be the part 1 of this cooking my dinner video. I'm not gonna have to use the other video because I'm pretty much explaining everything with just this one video, so I don't have to explain it twice, so that's a good thing. Okay, I went and I got one of my plates, and this is where I'm gonna put all my wanimos on. I went and got my refreshments because I love this Fanta pineapple soda. So refreshing when it's hot and you're thirsty. And then me and Bubba are snacking on these. They're called chicharrones. Fried pork skins. They're so yummy. Okay, here we go. My water is already boiling. Like, it's not to a full boil, but it's hot. And you just have to get it hot enough where you see the little bubbles in the bottom already sizzling. And that's good enough. And then my bacala, the cod, is still boiling here on this side. I keep it boiling for a very long time before I change the water. It's 3 o'clock now. I would say my dinner will be done in probably like a little over an hour. So I'm gonna sit you back down here so I can get the boiling water. I don't want to multitask with boiling water. God forbid, you know, I'm a klutz and get burned. So I get my water, which is very hot, and this is the flour with the cornmeal, and you're just gonna start adding this water. I add a lot at a time while I'm doing it because, as I said, I do this a lot, so I already know like about how much I need to get it to the consistency that I want it to be in. But for you guys, if you're doing it for the first time, I suggest that you put a little bit of water at a time, mix it, add water, mix it, add water, mix it, because you have to get it to the right consistency where you can make like it's going to be like a pizza dough. So again, I'm going to put more water, and I may have to boil a little more water since I made the whole bag this time. Usually I make half a bag, but then we stay wanting more. And we're like, oh man, why didn't you make more? So that's why I figured I'll make the whole bag. And if we do have leftovers, which I really highly doubt it, if we do have leftovers, we can heat it up tomorrow, because actually I find that when you make dinner like this, the next day it tastes even better than the day that you made it. So again, you're just gonna keep, and for some reason, guys, if you add too much water to the point that it gets too soft and the ball of dough is too soft, you can always add a little bit of flour to make it to the consistency that you want. So don't worry about that. You can just add. You can add, but you cannot take away. And I'm gonna go over here, maybe over here, so you guys can see me wash my hands before I stick my fingers in there to start doughing and kneading that dough. So remember, be nice and clean, guys. Once you're cooking, you always have to have a clean surface. Make sure all your stuff is clean, your pots, everything you're cooking with, because nobody wants, excuse me, Bubba, nobody wants to eat like nasty food. So you dry your hands. I have a feeling that I'm probably gonna need a little bit of flour. I may have to add water, but it's okay, because as I said, you can always take away. So you just take out. And be careful when you first put the water in. It's very hot, because remember, you let it like boil practically. So then you're gonna go in here. See how it looks when you put the water? You're gonna go in here with your clean hands that you just witnessed me clean my hands, and you're gonna knead it like this. See, Bubba, if you want to put the video here so they can see me kneading it, up to you. And you knead it. If you want, what do you think? Okay. This is how see, this is how it looks when you're kneading it. It's like a pizza dough. See? Like a pizza dough. So you just keep doing that to it until you get it to the consistency that you want. Again, guys, if you feel that it's too soft, you can always add flour. And if you feel that it's too dry, you can always add water. Okay, put the phone. Good job, Bubby. I look like a little cookie. Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. Still recording? Okay. So okay, so I'm kneading. Look how it's so far. You see, because I do this a lot, I always get it head on. Like, I never have to add anything to it, because as soon as I already know, since I do it so much, like exactly the measurements I need, and I don't even have to use like measuring stuff. So you first timers, if you're gonna try this for the first time, remember what I said. Always have extra water in case you have to add water because the dough came out too hard, or have a little bit of extra flour in case it came out too soft and you need to add a little flour to it. My dough, I feel like, wow, for me, just for the trying it without having to add anything, is perfect just the way it is. I don't have to add flour. I don't have to add water. It's perfect. This is exactly the way you want it to be. Exactly. Remember, a little more than half of the flour and the whole bag of the cornmeal. Boiling water with a little salt and a little bit of oil, and you're gonna get a ball like this. Look at the consistency of it. Like, you see, this is how it has to feel. See, it's not hard. This is perfect. Okay, so now what you do is you take pieces like this, you roll it around, make a ball, roll it, and then you make these little long little things here. I don't know what you want to call those, and what do we want to call them? in English. In Spanish, I will call them surullitos. See? And you keep putting them on the plate like this. And then you're gonna boil water. And I have to do that after I'm done. Usually I have the water ready, but I don't have a big, this is my biggest pot and the one I'm using for the bacala. So usually I have the water waiting, boiling. So once I'm done with this, I just drop them in the boiling water. And you leave them in that boiling water until you stick a fork in them and they're like firm. Like once you stick the fork in them, they're nice and firm. And then all you wait for is for the bacala to be done. And I'm going to show you how you serve it. But for that, it's going to be a part 2 on how to serve it. Because remember, it's going to take a little while for it to keep cooking. I will show you the process like of me throwing it in. I see all the crumbs falling when you're doing that. Just see what I'm doing. Do a ball first and then a little surullito. And you know that my dough came out perfect because it's not even sticking to my hands. When it's too soft, it'll stick to your hands and you gotta sometimes like put grease on your hand, like oil or flour on your hand to keep it from sticking. But this is not even sticking. It came out perfect on the first try. Lately I've been doing no fails on this YouTube. Let me not jinx myself. You roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, and then you roll it out. This is so good, guys, right, Bubba? This food, I learned how to make this. My dad showed me how to do it. And for next time when I do it, I'm going to buy the bigger bag because I bought the smallest bag of the cornmeal. And I still feel, I used the whole bag and I still feel like this is not going to be enough because my family loves this. And we like to eat seconds. And we love it so much we never get to because the first time we eat so much of it that when we go to get more, there's none in the pot. It's so good. I haven't made this in a long time though. My father taught me how to make it. He used to make it so good. And my father sometimes used to add coconut water in the boiling water as it was cooking. So it would give it like a coconut flavor to it. I didn't like it though. I never told him because he was so proud of it. And he would say, taste it. I did something different. So I'll be like, oh yeah, it tastes good. I'm not going to say, no, I don't like it and be unappreciative. My dad was the bomb. I used to call him from work and say, Dad, I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm still working. And he used to say, I'm not cooking. And then like 2 seconds later, my phone would ring and it would be him. Come, the food is almost ready. All the time. He was the best cook. He used to make the best pork in the oven. Like what we make like for the holidays, like the whole pork and stuff. And not the whole pork with the snot and stuff, like the pork, the tenderloin part. He used to make it so good. It used to like fall off the bone. I'm almost done. And I'm going to show you that little bag, how many it made. So. And you saw how fast I did it. I'm already done. Like these are the 2 last pieces. And then we're done. Then I just got to clean the pot to put boiling water in it. You know what, I'm going to make this bigger because cutting it into 2 pieces is not making it the same size as the others. And you want them kind of like to be like the same size so they could all cook at the same time. Because if you have some that are smaller or bigger than the others, they're not going to cook at the same time. So This is what it looks like, guys. See? And that's called wanimitos. So I'm gonna put you here, and I'm just gonna wash my pot. This pot, because this is the pot I'm going to use to boil them in. You need something to boil them in. So, and if you guys try this, you're gonna thank me because, oh my God, it's so good. I haven't made it in a while. I can't say it's because I'm lazy, because you saw how easy it was to make. Like, it took me like 2 seconds. I don't know why I haven't made it. I guess I didn't have the stuff. Today I stopped in the store since I had to go to the condo this morning. On the way back, I stopped in the Bravos and I bought the stuff that I needed. But as you see how fast, it took me a while to get it down to where I didn't have to use measuring stuff, and I got it perfect the way I just did. It took a while, guys. Everything you have to learn is a process. So if you do it the first time and it doesn't come out, keep trying until you get it right. But you saw how easy it is. It's like if you have a measuring scoop and you want to do it by measuring, remember it is more flour than, more cornmeal than flour. So if you want to measure and do like, I would do it, like when I first started doing it, when I used to have to measure, what I would do is take the measuring scoop that was 1 cup, and I will put 1 cup to 2 cups of cornmeal. So I will use 2 cups of cornmeal and 1 cup of flour. So if I was going to make 4 cups, using 4 cups of cornmeal, then I would just use 2 cups of flour. You understand? So it's always more of the cornmeal than the flour. Again, the reason is because the flour, if you use the same amount, it's gonna make it tough, and you don't want it tough. So my pot is nice and clean here. I'm just gonna put you on pause for 1 second so I can put filtered water in here to boil. I'll be right back. Hi guys, I'm back. So I put the water. This is how much water you need. You see it, and I'm gonna pick you up and show you. You pretty much fill it like almost to the, not all the way to the top, like a little more than half of a skillet like this, because you need the wanimos to be submerged in the water. They need to be covered in the water. They cannot be peeking out the water. They have to be fully covered in the water. So what you do is you put it on high. I have to use the little one in the back here because the one in the front, I think, is damaged, and it gets really hot even if you put it on low. This one here in the front gets really hot, this big one. And it always ends up burning my food. Because it's so hot, I always wipe down my stove. Always working with a clean surface, guys. So wipe down your stove. There is my bacala cooking still. I'm about to change the water on that. So you clean that surface and you wait for the water that I have here. That water has to boil. But before that, you come and this is what the little surullos look like. Remember, you're not gonna throw them in there until that water is boiling. So remember, the little bag I showed you I made, it made that amount. So if you have a bigger family, I use this little bag that's like 12 ounces. If you have a bigger family, obviously you're gonna have to make more. So you can get the bigger bag or use 2 bags. So it's like self-explanatory. So if you get 2 bags of the 12 ounce and you use 2 bags of the cornmeal, you're gonna use a whole bag of the flour. So see, 2 bags of the cornmeal and 1 whole bag of the flour. If you're just going to use 1 bag of the cornmeal, you're going to use half a bag of the flour. So that's how it works. And then I take my little mazola oil and, you want to hold it? I take my mazola oil and I just put a little tiny bit in the water. And the reason for this is for it not to stick. Because if you don't put oil, thank you, baby. If you don't put the oil in that water, the little wanimos that we just made are all gonna stick together. And you wipe down your oil, guys, so when you put it back in the cabinet, you don't have oil dripping onto your cabinet. And then you take the salt. And I know that we're cooking this salt out of this. So why wanting to add salt? But you have to for the wanimos because you don't want the wanimos to be bland. So you put that much salt, just a little, like eyeball it. And then you just let that sit here until it comes to a boil. When it comes to the boil, we're going to throw the wanimos in there and we're going to let that boil. It's going to boil until you stick a fork in it and it's tender. Like it's, you know, not tender, like it firms. It's going to get firm. So while that water is burning, I'm going to change the water on my codfish, which I'm going to get right now. So see, what I do, just pour out the water. That's all salt water there. And then I'm going to just refill it with cold water and clean water. So now it's going to continue to boil and all that salt is going to continue to come out of the bacala. And I do this process like 5 times. So you put it back on the stove top and still with the spoon on top, with the wooden spoon, you still have it boiling over a little. Because I just noticed right now when I took it off the stove, the bottom, the heat is like it has a little salt in it. Like it just, I guess it like just, I don't know why that happens every time I boil like codfish. It like boils over. But I was told that if you put a wooden spoon, it wouldn't happen. But it happened a little. Not much though. I controlled it. So I'm pretty happy that not much went on it. So, okay. So I changed the water on the codfish. So that's done. I cleaned up my oil. So that's good. And now I'm just going to finish washing these dishes. We keep your clean. Look, if you go cleaning as you go cooking, you're not going to have a bunch of dishes piled up. You know how when you cook and at the end you just sit back and go, oh my God, look at this mess. No. As you go cooking, you just go cleaning your things. Just cleaning them so nothing piles up. You have a clean sink and all you're waiting for is that food to cook so you can sit down and enjoy it. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, my kitchen is a mess. That's what I do all the time. That's how I cook all the time. I go washing my plates and pots and putting stuff away as I go along. So take my advice and you will see it's so much easier. It makes it so much easier for you. This is the pot I use to boil the water and the oil and the salt. Dawn is the best for grease. I actually even use Dawn to give my doggy a bath because it's really good for the animal and for the fleas, believe it or not. Trust me. If you have a dog and they have fleas, you're not going to start doing that, right?
No.
If you have an animal and it has fleas, you give it a bath, like a dog or a cat, with Dawn, and it will make it nice and clean. So So there, I washed this pot. Now my sink is nice and clean. I'll show you guys. I'm just waiting for that water to boil. I wish I had a bigger... I think I'm going to switch... I don't know. I think I'm going to switch the pots around and put the codfish in the little small one in the back. And then put the wanimo pot in the bigger one in the front. And my son wants to show you his line. Today he went to school excited to sell them. And he sold one, but it's better than not selling anything. He still made business, so. Huh? And you clean the sink with the soap really good. You even take out your little thing here and you clean that. You take your little white towel. I have a white towel in my sink always because you just go over everything. You just dry everything. Don't leave everything wet. Just dry the counter. You see? Just clean everything. Put my donuts up there. I can put my oil away because I'm done using it in the pantry. And put my salt away in the pantry. Close it. That's done. And then continue to clean the rest of the counter. Yeah, clean it good. Go in there and move your stuff out the way. Clean it really good. Put it back. Clean behind. Don't neglect behind that sink. The front. Move this out. Clean that. Put it back. Clean the counter. Everything, your surface where you're cooking, you continue to keep it clean. You hear that sizzling? That's the oil and the water. Once that boils, that's it, my friends. It's done. I'm gonna put my little pot holders back. I love these pot holders. They're so cute. They have cupcakes. I got them in Walmart. So you guys see my counters are nice and clean all around. That's how you guys should do your stuff so you don't get overwhelmed. Look at my sinks. Nothing in the sink. Clean. So now all we're doing is waiting on that water to come to a complete boil. And we're done. We're just waiting to eat dinner. So I'm just gonna pause you guys for a second while that water boils. And I'll be right back to show you how I throw it in. And then it's just a waiting game. And once it's done, I'll come back and show you the end result. So hold on one second. I'll be right back. Hi guys, I'm back. I'm washing my hands again. Remember, when you're dealing with food, always keep those hands clean. I should have my hair up in a pony like I always do have it up. Just to make sure that there's no hairs flying, but I'm good because I'm not waving my hair around. I'm being very careful. The water is almost to a boil, so I'm going to start sticking them in now because it's like, you can see the bubbles. See the bubbles? So that means the water is hot enough to put them in. I switched the pots around. I put the codfish in the back burner where it's the smaller burner, and I put the one with the wanimos in the front where it's the bigger burner. I'm just going to lower that heat a little because as you see it's boiling. It's getting very hot. And this one is a big burner, so it's good. See how red it gets? And this one here, I don't like to use because when I put it on very low, it gets really, really red and it just makes my food all crazy and burned. But, okay, you saw I washed my hands, guys. So I'm going to pick them up one at a time and put them in that boiling water. And you saw one bag, this is how much it made. So trust me when I tell you that my son is gonna want more, and today we are gonna eat all of them. We're not gonna have for seconds for tomorrow. I make only one bag because there's only 3 of us in this house, and my husband doesn't eat much. He's not a big eater, so he just eats a few, but he likes these, so he may eat seconds. But since it's only 3 of us, I just feel like one bag is enough. But again, if you have a larger family, use 2 bags or buy the bigger bag. They have a bigger bag. Remember, it's always 2 to 1. So 1 bag, half of the flour. Whole bag of the cornmeal, half of the flour. 2 bags of the cornmeal, 1 bag of the flour. If you use a bigger bag, just calculate how much, or you can use a measuring cup and put like 4 cups of the cornmeal, 2 cups of the flour, or 6 cups of the cornmeal, 3 cups of the flour, like that. That's how it works. So, okay, so I put these in. You see how they're submerged? They're covered in water. That's how they have to be covered. They cannot be out of the water because the water is what's going to boil them and cook them. So you have to put enough water. I put a little more than half of this pot with water because remember, when you stick them in, the water is going to rise and you don't want it to overflow. The water doesn't overflow, so I don't have to put like a wooden spoon like I do with this. For some reason, the codfish, I guess because it's pulling out the salt, it bubbles over. So that's why I have this, and it seems to be working. So, okay, so we're going to leave this in here. I'm going to come check on it in a little while, and I'm gonna stick a fork inside. When it's firm, it's done. I can cover it, and I'm sure we're gonna be waiting on this because this I boil it at least 5 times. So you see how my stove is nice and neat. So we're just waiting on that to cook, and then I come back over here, and the plate that I used to put the little wanimitos in it, I'm gonna wash that so we don't have no dishes in the sink. Then I'm gonna go upstairs to my room where I'm just gonna relax and wait on this food to be done. I will come back with the second part because I want to show you how I make the codfish when it's done, so you guys know how I make it, and when I fry the onions and stuff. I use the same pot that is boiling. The codfish is boiling. I take the codfish out. I put it in a plate. And then I use that same pot. I put a little bit of olive oil in it, extra virgin olive oil. And I fry the onions in that pot. So the onions sweat and get nice and soft and cooked, and they get sweet. And then I mix them all together with the avocado. And you're gonna see it's so delicious. I know you guys are gonna try this. So, okay, I'm done here in the kitchen. My kitchen is spotless, as you can see. I have to do all my garbage. My counters are all spotless. My little bubby right there. Where's my, I need to get my soda. I'm so hot, I'm sweating. Come on, Bubby, you coming up? I turn off this light. I just leave the light of the stove on cooking, and I keep coming down to check on it. So the next time I come on here is going to be when my food is done and I'm just making the codfish, so you guys can see how I make it. And in like a few seconds, when I get my breath, because I'm telling you it's so hot today and muggy, in a few seconds when I get, you can see me sweating. When I get my breath back, I'm gonna bling out my glasses and I'll show you that process. But I will see you guys in a little while when my catfish is ready, and I'm going to show you exactly how it comes out. And I know you guys are going to love this recipe, and I know you guys are going to try it, and you're going to leave me a gazillion comments saying how yummy it was. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Don't go anywhere, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. See you soon.